Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. You're listening to another video for League of Legends. In this video, I'm going to be trying to look at a game played by Jax. Jax has been enjoying a little bit of a surge in popularity recently, and I've been thinking of playing him myself. This is actually a game where someone else is playing Jax, and can play him a lot better than I can. Let me just flip with the scoreboard here, turn off the chat, and come on. There we go. All right. So this is a game that I am playing in. I was playing as Lux in this game. Not particularly well, as you'll see as you go through and watch this video footage, but did play as Lux in this game. And the games that I do are likely going to be games that I'm playing in. I'm not planning on doing some of the high elo games like I did back in the day. There's enough of that footage online now. There's enough live streaming and enough information about different champs that it's really easy to see the high elo players. So I think we'll just mostly be doing some of my stuff, games that found interesting, things I want to highlight, that sort of stuff. All right, so in this particular game, I wanted to try and focus on Jax. Jax is someone, I think I did a video on Jax way back in the day, years and years ago. Hasn't really changed very much since then. He's almost exactly the same champion that he was really since they removed Dodge, which was taken out of the game in 2011. Ever since then, Jax has pretty much been the same champion and hasn't really had much difference in terms of his kit. He is really good at 1v1, he's really good at dueling, and he's good at split pushing. Not a great team fighter, but good mobility and is very good at pushing lanes. Interestingly enough, in this game, Jax is going to be up against Tryndamere, who really has a very similar kind of style of gameplay. A lot of focus on 1v1, and split pushing, and not so great in actual like 5v5 team fight. So we'll get to the abilities on Jax in a minute. I'll walk through them again. So first of all, we're actually going to have a level 1 fight here. Jax is using Counter Strike, and he doesn't actually get the stun off on Tryndamere, but does manage to dodge some attacks. Can see us clearly ahead in terms of damage. So they're going to fight Ignite on both sides. Both of them flash away. And our Jax player actually does take first blood there and immediately gets an edge in this laning matchup right there. So let's talk a little bit more about Jax. As I said, I'm going to lock the camera on him for the moment, as he goes ahead and, by the way, does what you should do. Note that after having picked up that early kill, what he wants to do is push this minion wave into the tower so that these minions will be denied to Tryndamere, and then go back and buy. Pretty straightforward stuff. I mean, this can be applied to like every single champion in League, but you know, for anyone who might be learning, this is what you want to do. You get a kill, as long as it's safe to do so, you want to shove into the tower, get the tower to deny those minions, go back and buy. And Jax has picked up 2 longswords here. For additional attack damage. He's actually building that into Tiamat, which is a very standard first item on Jax after starting with the Corruption Potion. Alright, so Jax abilities. Let me highlight the passive right here. Consecutive basic attacks increases attack speed. This can actually stack up to 8 times. If I keep the camera locked here on Jax, you'll actually see this stacking up. Let's see if we can see this appear as he attacks. This is where you see, yeah, all right, so there it is. There's 1, there's 2, and this can stack up to 8 times. Yeah, so 3.5% attack speed for each one of those attacks. So you stack that up 8 times, 3.5 times 8. What is that? That's around 35% attack speed, something like that. So useful passive. Again, good in sustained fights, good in sustained engagements against an opponent, that sort of thing. All right, so the ability that you've probably seen Jax using the most here is his Counter Strike. This is his E attack. This is the ability that people scale up first, but generally then only put 1 point in it. So generally people grab this at level 1 and then just keep this at 1 point after that. So Jax takes a defensive stance. He dodges all incoming basic attacks and takes less damage from AoE. That's it right there. And at the end of this, after 2 seconds, Jax stuns enemies for 1 second. You can also activate it early if you want. Oh, and right here, did you see that right there? Let's go back and watch that again real quick, just so we can see that again. Tryndamere was not really paying attention right here, so they go in for a trade. Our Jax player using his counterstroke for the trade. And then right here, Tryndamere just kind of sitting around, not paying attention. Leap attack, empower, auto attack, empower, and he dies. So, yeah, just got caught off guard by the damage that Jax was pulling because he already had double longswords, and that's a lot of early game damage right there when you get a first blood and can immediately pick up those items. Alright, so other abilities. Jax's Q, his leap strike, Jax leaps to target unit, deals physical damage if it's an enemy. He can jump. I believe this is like it's about the range of Flash. I'd say it's roughly like 600 range. I'd have to look up the exact distance, but it's about the distance of Flash. And Jax does damage and jumps to the target. The one downside to this ability is you do need a target. You can't just jump in midair. So one of the things you will commonly see Jax players do is carry a ward in their inventory, or like the ward trinket, which is really nice for Jax. That's been in the game for a while now. But you jump to a ward, and the ward gives you a target, and that way you can get away from stuff. Of course, you can also jump to minions. You can jump to enemies, monsters, that sort of thing. But it does work on wards, and most people who have watched the League scene for a while are pretty familiar with this. W attack on Jax is Empower. This one's quite nice in terms of dealing damage. Jax charges his weapon, next basic attack or Leak Strike deals an additional magic damage. Note that this is magic damage, whereas most of the damage that Jax does is physical. His Empower is magic damage. One of the things that can be annoying to play against the Jax is he does a mixture of physical and magic damage, so it's kind of hard to itemize against him. This is an auto attack reset. You can auto attack and then immediately empower, so you can go auto W and you get 2 quick attacks in. Right there, Jack's going to leap strike in, uses counter strike. Didn't get the stun because Tryndamere jumped backwards, but where he picked up that kill a minute ago, he jumped in with his leap strike and then immediately auto attacked, followed it up with an empower. And Jax players skill this last. They don't take it until level 3, but then they max it first. Because it has a very short cooldown, only 5 seconds. It costs very, very little to use in terms of mana. You can see only 30 mana. And you can also use it with the Leap Strike as well. Next basic attack or a Leap Strike. So you can empower the Leap Strike as well. Although generally speaking, it's better to jump in, auto, and then empower, rather than empowering the Leap Strike itself. And then finally, just to wrap this up, Jax's ultimate, which he's just picked up here, Grandmaster Smite, has a passive function every 3rd attack. Jax deals additional magic damage. So let's watch this here. 1, 2, 3. And you hear that really satisfying little thump sound. So again, kind of works quite well with Jax's passive. Right there, jumps in, uses Tiamat, and then Tryndamere spins away. So that's the passive. Every 3rd strike deals extra damage. Let's see if he's going to go for this dive, by the way. So right there, the counter strike for the stun, ignite, leap strike away, but does die to tower. Now, despite dying to tower, that's still a good play for Tryndamere or not Tryndamere. Still a good play for Jax because he's denied these minions on the tower. So he comes out ahead even though they both died there. But yeah, if he somehow could have managed to escape that, would have been even better. But so anyway, I'll keep the focus here while Jax is surviving. But I did want to finish up with the skilling order. The active here, Jax gains extra armor and magic resist. And these do scale based on attack damage and ability power. So you get a huge armor bonus if you end up building a lot of armor on his ultimate. And this is also on a short cooldown, only 80 seconds. So basically, extra armor and magic resistance when you skill your ultimate right there. Now see right here, I actually get blown up. Wanted to highlight that because this was pretty sad. This was a situation where I had harassed down Veigar, got him really low, and I actually did hit him in a binding, but then he just blew me up because he's Veigar, and that's what Veigar does. But anyway, right there, so we see another kill on top lane. That's kind of the standard Jax combo. Jumped in with Counter-Strike active, got the Counter-Strike for the stun, and then used an auto attack and used an Empower, and it was enough just to burst Tryndamere down, who did have his ult up, but did not ultimately use Undying Rage. Now, Evelyn's here as well, and she's come out of stealth and is trying to attack. So Jax is going to use his Counter-Strike and then walk away, and it looks like he's going to be just fine as a result of this. But he is forced off the tower, which is what Eve's goal almost certainly was from that whole point in the first place. So, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, advantages of Jax as a champion: very, very good duelist, really good at split pushing, has good escapability with his Leap Strike. The Leap Strike is what people skill up second. You might notice that Empower is being skilled first, Leap Strike being skilled second. As you put more points in the skill, the cooldown decreases, and you can get this down to a pretty low cooldown with time. It allows him just to kind of jump around and be difficult to catch, difficult to gank. One of those champions where if you get out in front, you can be strong enough that no one on the map can 1v1 you, and at that point, the other team has to make some tough decisions, like do you send 2 people to deal with the split pusher, and then you're vulnerable elsewhere on the map, that sort of thing. In this matchup right now, Jax is already ahead by, what, about 20 minion kills, roughly. and already picked up the Tiamat, and now is building towards Trinity Force. And this is kind of the standard Jax build that I see right now, is start with a Corrupting Potion, get Tiamat first. If you're ahead in the lane, if you're behind in the lane, you would skip the Tiamat and just go straight to a Trinity Force. And then you build towards the Trinity, because Trinity has always been kind of the quintessential item on Jax. I seem to remember back in the day the build was Trinity into Blade of the Ruined King. And I actually picked up a kill there in mid, but that was not really me so much as Lee Sin setting me up. But we'll continue to watch up here in top, because right now Jax is still trying to push this tower. Eve is up here as well, and we actually have Lee Sin coming up. So it looks like we are going to have a 2v2 up here in the top lane between these two champs. As Jax just continuing to shove in, getting further ahead in minion kills, using the Tiamat for the extra wave clear and the extra shoving power up here in top. And as usual, you want to make sure you get those cannon creeps, because they're worth so much more than the other ones. So here's Eve down here in the brush. She actually backs away when Jax goes to ward it, so nicely done there, keeping that stealth going. And meanwhile, we have Lee Sin also right here hanging out. So Trinimir's going to initiate, Lee Sin goes in, and he is going to get bursted down by the pair of Evelynn and Tryndamere. So that attempt at counter ganking really didn't work. And now Eve is still here. She was invisible, so she manages to get over here. And it's actually going to be a flash in from our Jax player here, who's picked a kind of a bad moment to go in on this engage, because Eve's going to flash away. That Ignite is not quite going to finish her off. And that's our first real mistake from the Jax player in this game. There was really no need to flash in there. I think could have just stuck back and defended the tower. And I don't quite understand the decision to pick the 1v2, particularly to flash into a 1v2. But that said, Jax is playing a good game and is pretty far ahead right now. Just kind of a head-scratcher moment there. And that particular play in top lane didn't work out. In the wider game, it is really quite even if you look at the score here. Right around 17,000 for both sides. I'll highlight the gold. You can see Tryndamere's ahead. I am actually ahead in mid lane, believe it or not, against this Veigar player. Although it's basically dead even, let's be honest. And the bottom lanes are also pretty even as well. Both 1-1 on the ADs and with pretty much even farm right now. And I was reasonably happy with how things were going here against Veigar, but could have done better, I think. So here comes Lee Sin, and he is going to land the Q. And then, let's see, I can't recall if he actually, I was going to say, I can't recall if he actually tried to follow that up. And he did, and it was a mistake, because Veigar just killed him instantly. So it was like, whoops. Lee Sin has helped out. He helped me get a kill initially in lane, or was it me? Yeah, he helped me get a kill in lane earlier. But some of these ganks have not really worked out, and that is always the case when you go to gank a lane like that. So, tower goes down. Tryndamere uses Undying Rage. He's going to chase, and Jax is like, no, just get out of my face, man. Turns around, and just an auto plus an empowered W is enough to get that kill right there. Timed it quite well right when the Undying Rage wore off, so Tryndamere was quite vulnerable to getting killed there. And now Jax is going to go back, and I think he's close to having Trinity done, although I don't think he has it. So I'm going to get ganked here by Eve, who I still was not familiar with playing against, and I actually get off a nice flash there. Was paying attention, was not back in the shop buying, but I do have to use my flash, which is never great. But hey, I'll take it to get out of that. Would look like a sure death situation there. All right, let's check in on the bottom lane right now. Overall, the game is still close. We are winning top. It's a little bit closer elsewhere. We're losing jungle, though, by the way. And like I said, this bot lane is pretty much even, although Sivir has started to pull ahead a little bit down here with that awesome Pizza Girl Sivir, or Pizza Delivery Girl Sivir? Can't recall the exact name of this one, but really cool skin, to say the least. That was one of the community ideas that it's probably been around for a while, but it's new to me because I'm new to this game. And I enjoy seeing that every time it pops up. So anyway, Jax, to get back to our Jax matchup, once again, has now gotten the tower and is now going to start pulling pressure to the top lane in a split push. So note where the jungler is. Jungler's up here. Eve is coming from the top lane, does get that charm. So Jax right now jumps in, gets a kill on Tryndamere, who did not have his Undying Rage up, was still on cooldown. So that's one kill, and now Eve has to stay up here. Jump in, counterstroke, Eve flashes away. So Eve's flash is now down. Eve is trying to get the taunt, and now dashes in, counterstroke in, and auto attack empowered, and the kill right there. So this is what happens when Jax starts to snowball ahead. And a Jax who already has both a Tiamat and a Trinity Force at the 14-minute mark is in a very strong position indeed. One mistake here, though, by Tryndamere. I keep saying Tryndamere. One mistake here by our Jax player, though, could have kept pushing, could have shoved another wave, and could have gotten some damage on this tower. And the reason for that is we could see their bottom lane. Like, their bottom lane was clearly down here, so those two weren't available. And we had just killed Veigar mid, so Veigar wasn't available either. And Jax had just killed Tryndamere and Eve, so there was literally no one available to come and push back at this tower. So Jax could have shoved another wave there, and he could have gotten a little bit of damage on the tower, and probably would have been worthwhile to do that. Just a quick check-in here on me in this Lux versus Veigar matchup. I'm at 105 CS, which is okay. I would say it's not awful. I would think you'd like to be a little bit higher than this. I think you'd want to be maybe like 125 at this point, ideally. Assuming you're not a pro player who just gets everything. But, you know, 2-1. I'm reasonably happy with how these things are going. And probably shouldn't have even died the one time, but I actually landed my skill shots on Veigar, and I didn't have quite enough damage to kill him, but it turned out he did have enough damage to kill me. So Jax, again, doing what he should be doing, up here, pressuring the tower, just using counter stroke so he doesn't take damage from Tryndamere, hit the tower 3 or 4 times, and then leap strike out. And then just keep doing this, because Tryndamere is not strong enough to 1v1 against Jax. Tryndamere, they both have the Tiamat, but Tryndamere just has a Zeal, and Jax, meanwhile, has a full Trinity Force, and that's not an even matchup at all. So we got a little bit of a team fight going on over here, so let's keep an eye on this. Don't want to stay just on the split push. So I managed to hit the team with Lux E into a Lux Ultimate. Didn't do that much damage, but helped a little bit. But meanwhile, we have Jax going in here, and he goes ahead and gets 1 kill there, and then he does enough damage that the rest of us can follow up. And we actually managed to go 3 for 1, with Jax being the only one who falls. So Tryndamere did stay top, and this is not a bad play for Tryndamere. He's going to get pressure on that tower. We have no one available to come and stop this push, so he's going to go for that. But we did just go 3 for 1, and we're going to look to take the Mountain Drake off this. Now, Mountain Drakes are generally the weakest of the 4 dragon types. They do additional damage to towers, they do additional damage to the big monsters like Dragon and Baron. And while that's good and everything, it's generally not that useful in a game. But it turns out that taking this Mountain Drake would end up being really, really impactful in this game later on. So just keep in mind, we did claim the first dragon, and it was a Mountain Drake. Because I'll be coming back to that point a little bit later on in this game and explaining why it was so important. So I was hoping that we would be able to get bottom tower off this as well. And right there, unfortunately, Alistar is going to headbutt the Karma away, which I think he was going for a headbutt pole combo, and he just didn't get it. And so that's actually going to allow Karma to survive when she shields herself at the last moment there. So well done on her part. And yeah, Alistar's still tanking tower. But we really should be able to get this tower here, and it turns out that we're not going to be able to get this. And I think this is a bit of a misplay, because Sivir gets 1 kill. And she now is up against Alistar. And is he going to be able to finish this one off? Alistar, yeah. So what should have happened there is we should have just taken the tower, but instead they end up scoring a double kill, and we actually don't get the tower. So that kind of put their team back in the game a little bit. I mean, we would have been like maybe like almost 3,000 gold ahead if that works the way we expect it to. But instead, they get the tower. Now up here, we have a 3-man gank squad coming after Jax, but he popped his ultimate, drops the ward, jumps to it. Did you see that? And now he's going to use the blast cone to go over the Baron pit wall. And he actually gets out after, well, I guess that was just 2 people. I thought it was 3. Tryndamere and Veigar came and tried to kill our best to kill him, but didn't quite manage to get him. Meanwhile, now there's an invasion going on in our red, and Lee Sin's just going to get caught by 3 members of their team, and he gets bursted down. So what was looking like a pretty solid situation on the bottom side of the map has now fallen apart. And here's where I make probably my worst play of the game. I knew that those 3 were at the red buff, and instead I'm gonna like walk right into the middle of their team, and so I get killed with flash up, by the way. And then Alistar tries to save me, and so he dies as well. So just a really, really bad play. Like, I had just seen Lee Sin die here, and so here I am in mid, and I'm just like, I'll walk down here. Don't know what I was thinking, no idea why I did that. But they go ahead, score another kill on me, with flash up, by the way. Could have easily flashed. For some reason, I'm thinking that we still have this tower, even though it's been taken out. So could have easily flashed back here. And so now, in addition to scoring the kill on me and the kill on Alistar, who was trying to save me, they're also going to get a second tower mid. And there's nothing we can do about this. We don't have enough champions up to stop this. And they go ahead and swing out to about a 2,500 gold lead. So Like I said, probably my worst mistake of the game. Just really, really throwing away a lot of our advantage right there. A lot of the advantage that, frankly, Jax has been giving us in this game by pulling attention top. And what's going to happen? Look, Veigar and Karma heading up the top lane. So he's doing exactly what you want a split push Jax to do. He is pulling attention to top lane, and he's getting damage on this tower. Now, again, remember, we did pick up that Mountain Drake earlier. So the fact that we have that means Jax is going to be more effective in terms of taking towers down. So he's going to counterstroke in on Veigar. We're actually getting another tower elsewhere on the map, but jumps in, leap strike, and now Karma's like, uh-oh, I better get out of here. So goes ahead, tries to flash away, and then also uses the speed up, and does in fact manage to escape. Down here, Sivir's still pushing. We, though, have taken 2 towers mid, by the way. So that was the tower going down before. We took this tower mid. Now we took this second tower mid. And Jax is still pushing up here in top lane. Puts down another ward, jumps away. Tryndamere does take him out, but he's bought us so much time that we've been able to get 2 towers mid. And in fact, we're going to get a 3rd tower mid. So we take all 3 mid towers in succession. And that just evens up the game. We're only down 500 gold. Now, there is a downside. Sivir was also pushing. She has taken a tower in bottom lane. Yeah, I'm going to try to chase away Karma with that Lux Laser. Doesn't get the kill, but we'll force her back. But Sivir is still pushing, so this has turned into kind of the game of the split pushes here. As we back off in mid, but we don't have anyone available in bot lane to push back this particular, whatever you want to call this particular push by Sivir. And I think she's finally going to back now, but that's all we really have. Meanwhile, Lee Sin has to flash away as Eve had him taunted, charmed. I'm not sure what the proper term for that is. And now Tryndamere's chasing, and yeah, there's no tower there. So a bit of a rough game for Lee Sin right now, 0-4-2. And I think that he's a long way behind the Eve in the other matchup. Yeah, reasonably far behind. But our Tryndamere is super far ahead, 3,000 gold ahead in this matchup. Where it's pretty... Oh, wow, we're way behind at this point in bot 2. Meanwhile, over here, I'm going to get engaged on by Eve. I try to flash away. I thought I was dead, but then Alistar comes in and saves my butt. So thank you, Alistar. Trying to get that kill, and Jin is on a long-range route, but uh-oh, here comes the cavalry. Karma is here. Another terrible Lux Laser. But we do manage to get the kill on Eve. So really nice by Jin and by Alistar there. Just saving my butt as I get caught out of position. And not the best Lux Laser, to say the least. One of many poorly fired Lux Lasers. One of the things I have to remember with Lux is you really want somebody to be like CC'd, crowd controlled in some way, so that they can't dodge the laser. Otherwise, they just walk out of the way. Meanwhile, over here, our Jax player gets another kill in a 1v2. I don't know why Tryndamere is just standing there fighting. He's not going to be able to win this. And now flashes in. Tryndamere flashes back. A nice dodge, by the way. But Jax has that leap strike. And this is why you max leap strike second, because the cooldown goes down to 4 seconds, and it makes it really easy to just jump on people, and very hard for them to get away. Now, Jax has no way to get out of this situation, but he did fight a 1v2, got 2 kills, and he also is applying more pressure down here in bottom lane, so all really good stuff. The only downside is we were getting shoved in other lanes, and the Infernal Drake has just spawned, which means we really are in no position to contest this Infernal Drake. There's just nothing we can do. We had our champions up in the topside jungle, so there's no way we can stop this. So they're going to take the second dragon of the game, and they're going to get the Infernal Drake, which is the more valuable of the dragons. One thing that I actually said while playing, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of glad they took that, because we were not in any position to fight for that Infernal Drake, and I was worried our team would run in and try to fight for it, because it's solo queue and people run in and try to fight for everything. When we just didn't have anyone available. We didn't have Jax, who is by far the strongest member of our team. And we were really scattered and not in a situation where we could contest that. So overall, game is really tight. 17 to 18 in kills, separated by like 100 gold, if that. So it's really going to come down to who can play this game better. We, of course, have our Jax player out split pushing, and he's going off to bot lane to split push again. We, though, the rest of us need to like play safe and not die, and that is not what's really happening here, because they are coming in on us from the bottom. But Veigar does miss his Event Horizon stun. And right here, we're actually going to get the kill on Carbo, who gets caught out of position. And then Jin is going to look to open up, and I actually get a decent Lux Laser for once. But the problem is Eve is kind of coming in from the back line. So she is going to get the kill on Jin, and then now she's going to come after me. She was actually like invisible right now, so I had no idea where she was, and then she just kills me as well. So we looked like we were winning that fight, and then Eve came in and was like, no, you guys didn't actually win that fight, because she picked off both our AD and she picked off our mid laner. Meanwhile, Jax is still here, so they're going to have to respond to this. And once again, Jax is the one thing keeping us in this game, because The rest of us just screwed up pretty badly mid. All we really needed to do was play safe mid and not get engaged on, but we weren't able to pull that off, unfortunately. So he, again, continuing to shove this minion wave. And, yeah, he goes in on Eve right there. You see the stun from the counter-strike. Gets that, uses his empowered W. Now jumps on Veigar. Does get hit by the Veigar W. What's the name of that again? Dark Matter. Dark Matter. So he's going to jump on Veigar. Does get the kill. Of course, dies under the tower, but getting 2 kills in a 1v4 situation, not bad at all. Still, maybe it would have been better just to back off after getting the initial kill. I don't know. I think this Jax player was just like testing the limits of how far he could go in this game. Because, you know, it was a solo queue game, and it's not ranked either. I should mention this is a draft pick normal mode game, so a lot of people just use these as a chance to practice mechanics and kind of see how much they can get away with, that kind of thing. And I suspect Jax was kind of doing that and just seeing how many people he could kill before he was taken out. But anyway, 13-6-1, can't complain with that. In terms of Jax's itemization, he's now picked up the Essence Reaver. This is a really nice item on Jax now. Attack damage, cooldown reduction, mana. And the big thing is Essence Flare. Gain 50% attack speed and basic attacks return. 20% of your non-ultimate cooldowns. So because his cooldown is because his ult is on such a short cooldown, this is really nice for him. Just combines his ultimate just combines really well with the Essence Reaver. One of the reasons why he's just destroying people. Oh, and both of us were in bottom lane, but I saw Jax hitting it. I was like, yeah, Jax can just go split push. I should be with the team. He should be off by himself. So that's probably a better setup for us. Oh, and right here, I'm going to make probably my second worst play of the game, in the sense that I get engaged upon by Eve. Now, I couldn't see Eve. I didn't know where she was, but she comes out of stealth, and yeah, that's not good. Now, this was not as bad of a play as the first one because I did not have any summoners up, so I could not flash out of that, I could not heal out of that, but still not a good play. What I needed to do was just walk down here and walk to the base gate, which I'm still not used to doing because there was no base gate the last time I played League. But a bad play, I die, I then get bait Lee Sin into dying as well, and yeah, now we're in deep, deep doo-doo because we just lost our top base turret, we just lost our top inhib. They're still pushing. Now Jax is pushing as well, but he can't push as fast as their entire team can push, so he's going to have to recall at some point, as their team just is in a position to flat out end the game right here. So they still have all 5 members up, but they are going to make some mistakes. Look, Tryndamere sitting here, he's tanking this tower. There was no need to tank that tower. He could have just waited the 5 seconds for minions. They are all very, very low. I do actually get off a good Lux E and a decent Lux Laser there because I do a lot of damage, and then I get the bind on Evelynn. So now we're also going to get the kill on Veigar, and they just didn't quite have enough damage to finish off the base there. It was very close though. You can see there's only a little bit of health left on the Nexus. So Jax is going to flash in to get 1 kill, and all he needs is Leap Strike. And, actually didn't even need Leap Strike. He just used his Empower. So we do ace the team there, and they stuck around too long. So, to come back to one of my points from earlier, remember when I said we took the Mountain Drake? If we didn't take that Mountain Drake, they would have had enough damage to end the game there. So yes, even the crummy Mountain Drakes can be very, very significant. Now, another mistake here I don't want to criticize this Jax player too much because he was magnificent, but a mistake. He should have walked over here and killed their mid inhib. There was no reason not to kill the mid inhib. Instead, he went to bottom lane and shoved the waves of minions there. And now he's going for their bot base turret, and I do not understand this call. He should have gone for the mid inhib. But anyway, he gets a kill on Eve, then he gets a kill on Tryndamere, and then he jumps after Veigar. Unfortunately, walks into the Event Horizon stun there, and now he's going to get hit by the Lux jump rope, and he's going to try to run away. So now, cue the infamous Benny Hill music as he tries to run away. Does manage to dodge the Sivir Boomerang right there, or the Sivir Pizza. But look, we are now finally taking advantage of the time that Jax is buying for us. We are doing what we should have done a little bit sooner. We are now doing Baron. So he's going to buy us a free Baron here as well. So I'm going to keep the camera focused on Jax. He goes in and gets blown up by Sivir. Actually dies to the Sivir Boomerang because Counterstroke protects you from auto attacks. It does not protect you from an ability like Sivir's Boomerang Blade. So that's what actually killed him there. He turned around and went back in, and I think that's because Sivir popped her ult, and I think the logic was once On the Hunt was in play, then Sivir was going to be fast enough to chase him down. But I still think it might have been better to try running away, like especially if he could have jumped to a ward or a minion or something. But, I mean, this guy does know his champion a lot better than I do. So my big fear right now after Jax died, it was like, oh, this is bad. They have all 5 champs up, and there's only 4 of us, and we're missing our strongest member. And we have no inhib turrets, we have no base turrets, and our Nexus is at, like, what, 1900 health. So I was really worried that they were just going to run in the base and kill us. But it turned out, no, Veigar's in bot lane. Why are you in bot lane, Veigar? You should be with the rest of the team. And that is a huge mistake because they are not going to have enough time to push in and kill our base because they were not grouped as 5. I really think that if they had just all 5 grouped and ran mid and just hit the Nexus, I don't think there's anything we could have done to stop them because they only needed like 4 or 5 auto attacks to kill the Nexus. But it's too late now. Jax is back up. We have all 5 members of our team. We need to play very defensively right now because if we leave our base and anybody runs in here and starts auto-attacking the Nexus, the game is going to be over. And in fact, Eve is thinking about that right now with her stealth, that she's going to try to slip in here. So they're going to go for the Ocean Drake, but that's fine. We cannot come out to contest this Ocean Drake because if we do, Eve will run into the base and kill us. And I think that's what they were thinking. But look, Alistar hanging around here. I was also trying to hang around here. But Alistar's on top of it. He's going to headbutt away the Eve. Pulverize, headbutt, ignite, and it turns out Lee Sin is on it and is able to pick that up as well. So they get the Ocean Drake, but we were not fooled. We were ready to have someone there for the split push. I do think if they had Tryndamere slip over there with Eve, though, they probably would have won the game from that, too, because Tryndamere does a lot of damage. Once again, you see another magnificent Lux laser there on my part. Again, I know it's on a short cooldown once you hit level 16, so it's not a big deal. It's on like a 25-second cooldown or something like that. But still, not a great decision there. Gotta remember, note to self, wait until someone is CC'd and then use the laser, because then they can't get out of the way. Anyway, over here, Jax is off by himself, but that's fine. Jax is super strong. He can beat anyone 1v1. He can probably 1v2 just about anyone. So look, they're bringing 3 members of their team up here. We're keeping an eye on Tryndamere, who is trying to run away. And another amazing Lux ultimate right there. For some reason, I thought Tryndamere was close enough that I could hit him, but no. He was not even remotely close to being in range. Hey, give me a break. I haven't played the game in almost 5 years. This is like my 10th game back. And this is actually the first game I played Lux after coming back. But anyway, now we actually have what looks like a team fight. So we're going to go after Tryndamere here. Blastcone doing some funny stuff. Alistar goes into the middle of the team. He's got his ult running. But right there, we're going to pick up the kill on Tryndamere as soon as his ult runs out. And now Jax is still on the case. He's got a double kill. And he's going to pick up the triple kill. And now he's on the hunt again. Jhin gets a great ultimate. Watch. Slow on Veigar. Slow again. And that's all we need for Jax to get in range and to clean that one up for his 21st kill of the match. And at this point, we're like, all right, let's go, let's go. We can get at least 2 inhibs off of this push. And then after that, maybe we can look to Baron. But no, doesn't matter. Game's over. Their team went ahead and surrendered 5-0 there. And that's that. I think that was a mistake. I do not think they should have surrendered there because we still did not have any turrets on our Nexus. So at any point in time, they still could have tried to slip someone in there. Like if Tryndamere manages to get in our base, he can kill it in like 5 seconds. Granted, our inhibs had respawned. I don't know if you caught that, but our inhibs mid and top had respawned. So it was going to be a lot more difficult. But still, if we lost even one team fight, the game was over. And I don't think that we didn't have any minions, so Jax would not have been able to end the game on this push. Like, if you look, no minions. He could kill the inhibs, but he would not be able to just flat out end the game. So I think they should have stuck around longer, but whatever. I think that they were a little bit tilted based on what was happening in this game. So anyway, that's a pretty good demonstration of Jax, if you want to get a sense for him. If we want to just look at the last items here, I didn't get a chance to highlight these. Also picked up Steric's Gauge, which this is an item I'm not as familiar with because this wasn't in the game back when I used to play. But extra attack damage. You get a shield for extra health. It's a good item on like bruisers who do melee damage. Also picked up a Rage Blade. Another really nice item for Jax, but you typically only get this if you're very fed on Jax. Attack damage, ability power, attack speed, and it stacks up to 6 times, so functions quite well alongside his ult. And then also picked up the Titanic Hydra, which is just the upgraded version of Tiamat. So anyway, entertaining game. Wanted to highlight this one. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. This Jax played a lot better than I did. I made some pretty big mistakes. I actually thought I laned decently, but after that, got caught twice. I tried to highlight it really badly. Got to clean up those mistakes. Got to use the summoner spells a little bit better. And yeah, not die to Eve. got to look at Eve's skills. I'm not as familiar with what she actually does since she's been reworked. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, see you guys soon. Until then, take care.